All right, so Jerri came to us about 5 months ago, and she just finished up care. So how did you hear about us, and kind of tell us that process before you started care?
Well, I went to the Senior Citizens Center and saw
Oh, that's right.
presentations.
That's right. I forgot. That's where
we.
we met you. That's right. Okay.
Yes, and I was impressed and decided to look into it further.
Okay. So you came in, and we did an evaluation, and when we did the evaluation, were you surprised at what we found?
Not really. I guess I was surprised when you said we might be able to help, but we might not.
And the reason is we did her evaluation, and when she first came in, she ended up with numbers of 85 and 82% loss of sensation. And if you've watched my videos, when there's 85% loss of sensation, we're like, hey, I'm not sure how successful this can be. So we talked quite a bit, and you decided why did you decide to do it, I guess? What was the reason?
Well, I decided that my health was important to me.
Okay.
I didn't want to get to the point where I was stumbling and off balance and having a hard time walking. And so I felt like it was worth the money to take the chance.
Okay, and worth the time and effort to see. So when she first came in, she scored a 14 out of 94 and a 17 out of 94. Okay, so very low numbers. Like I said, 82 and 85% loss of sensation. So as we went along, what were some of the things that you felt? How soon did you start feeling changes, I guess?
Probably within a week or two.
That quick, okay. And
Yes.
what were some of the things you first started noticing?
Some of the things that I noticed was that I lost weight.
Okay.
Which I
Because
could
we did the
afford to
diet,
do.
we did the dietary
Yes.
stuff. Okay.
And I was kind of concerned about the diet because I thought, I don't know if I can stick with this.
Right.
But I was surprised that I didn't crave the sweets and things that
Excellent.
I normally would have.
Uh-huh.
Then I started noticing that my sugar levels were at a very normal range.
No, you weren't diabetic, right?
Yes, I
Oh,
was diabetic.
okay. I have to remember all this stuff, and
Yeah.
we're just kind of shooting from the cuff here. Okay.
Right.
So your blood sugar numbers balanced out and did much
Yes.
better. Awesome.
Right. And then as I went along, probably within a month, I noticed that my balance was better.
Okay.
Before I would kind of walk sideways every once in a while because I was kind of losing my balance,
Uh-huh.
and I wasn't doing that.
Excellent.
And so I felt like that was an improvement. I also found that I used to take a pain medication almost every night before I go to bed because my feet hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And
You weren't having to do that anymore.
I wasn't having to do that.
So basically, within the first month, what you decided to do in terms of payment, time, effort, and all that kind of stuff was already worth it.
Yes,
And we weren't even close to being done.
yes.
Okay, so let's kind of just go through. So we did another re-eval with her, and she ended up with we did our first program, which is 36 visits, and she ended up at 41 and 43% loss. So from going from 85 and 82 to 41 and 43 is huge. I mean, that's incredible. In talking with her, I just gave her the option. If you want to continue on, we'll do it. If you don't, I understand. But I wanted her to have the option to feel if she felt like wanted to still go for a little bit more, we would do that. And luckily for her, we actually did. So what made you decide to go a little further?
Well, I thought about it, and I debated and finally decided that I didn't want to go through my life saying, oh, I wished I'd have stuck with it.
Right.
I would have been better than I am now.
At any time along the way, did you ever feel pressure from me to do the program?
No.
Did you ever feel like I was trying to coerce you or anything of that nature?
No, not
See,
at
and
all.
that's what a lot of times people feel, that they don't want to be coerced. They don't want to, and I try to be just flat out honest with them. And I think I was, in that conversation, I'm like, I don't know if we're going to get much more. I have no idea. We might get quite a bit. We might not get much because I didn't know.
Right.
So, she made the decision to do that, and luckily for her, she did do that, because our end numbers, so this is our end numbers with her, she ended up with 63 out of 94 and 62 out of 94. So she ended up with a 33% loss, or sorry, a 32% loss and a 34% loss. That is huge, from starting out at an 85 and an 82% loss. Now, if you're watching this and you've watched my videos, you're hearing me say 94. I've kind of modified it a little bit so there's more numbers instead of the original 74 that's on the video. So after we did that, what did you think about? What did that just totally baffle you? Did that surprise you on when we did the final evaluation?
It did. I was surprised there was that much improvement in this short time.
Yeah, that was incredible. I mean, her numbers in the beginning were all in the 0s to 3 was the highest, and when we finished, most of her numbers were above 7, and that's incredible to do. I mean, she was a great patient. She was here faithfully. She actually lives close to the office, so she was able to walk a lot of the time, right? But she did what she was supposed to do. She did the diet the way she was supposed to do, and all those things are critical. If somebody's thinking about doing the program, what would you say to them in helping them decide whether to do this or not?
I would say don't worry about the diet. It's great.
It's not easy, and I've never said it is easy,
Yeah.
but it makes a difference.
You get plenty to eat, and you don't have cravings for things that you shouldn't have.
And are your blood sugar numbers still really good?
Yes.
Are you having to take any medication anymore?
No. When I finished toward the end of the program, about a week before I finished, I went to my doctor and she checked my blood sugars and she said, "I'm taking you off the diabetic medication."
That is awesome. So basically she said you are no longer diabetic.
Right.
That's huge. And we weren't even necessarily going after that. But that's just part of the program in terms of doing the dietary stuff that we do, because you got to decrease that inflammation. That is awesome. See, I don't think you told me that.
Plus.
That's a huge plus. Yeah, and I don't think you told me that. So I get information when we do this.
So I had lots of things developed from the program that were positive and good, that made me want to stay on it.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, she's been a great patient. We appreciate your time and effort and coming in and doing this video. And you know, it's not a unknown. I mean, we had another patient start that just finished right before her, and her numbers were incredible. And we did a video on her as well, and she got up to 8%, which I've never seen before.
Wow.
So that was incredible as well. So we're making some really cool changes in people's lives. Thank you so much for being a great patient and coming in and doing this video.
You're welcome.